Special Rapporteur and Social and Health Envoy from the African Union Commission, Takam Kembo, is in South Africa to monitor and evaluate progress on how South Africa is performing in its campaign to end child marriages. According to statistics released by the African Union, South Africa recorded at least 207 child marriages in 2021. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare, together with civil society, is hosting an event in Johannesburg to discuss challenges children face. Now, Bongani Zinzibar completes the story.
The mission started its series of high-level engagements with the Department of Social Development, Basic Education, Women and Youth, engaging in discussions on challenges and practices in different regions of Africa and learning from one another.
For us is to learn what our social partners are doing, because today is dedicated to social partners, but also to see areas wherein we can help in scaling up and improving the work that the social partners are doing.
The engagements focused on child rights to capture current progress, challenges, best practices, lessons learned, and make recommendations for fast-tracking progress to end violence against women and children.
As a country, we have taken a stance to say that we need to really, upscale and strengthen our prevention and early intervention programs, which means we need to reach out to communities, working with different organizations, including your civil society, traditional leaders, religious leaders, to spread the word, to say that we cannot really afford to see our children experiencing so many, issues.
According to statistics, young girls are more exposed to social ills, which includes child marriages, child trafficking, female child mutilation, among others. On the strength of this, the African Union was urged to task African countries to do more on the girl child.
Children are not being abused, and if they are being abused, how is it being handled? Whether it's domestic violence, sexual abuse, psychological, mental abuse, all forms of abuse.
The Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, being at the forefront of advocating for children's rights, shared some of the challenges and successes that the foundation experienced.
You'll note that if you read the previous reports, we've done exceedingly well as a country, and that many of our practices and many of our successes here in South Africa are translatable in other parts of the continent. But what we really need to do is to strengthen the relationship between government and civil society more so than it is currently, to enable us to do more work together. And so this is a first step in that direction. We've got civil society presenting some key pieces of work. Many of the partners that are in the room are already in conversation with one another, and then we've got government stakeholders who are able to, as custodians of those rights, engage with civil society in meaningful ways.
According to the Department of Social Welfare, children who are vulnerable do not disclose traumatic experience that they encounter. However, to help mitigate this, the Ted Bae Foundation have been helping and guiding abused children.
We provide both medical legal support, medical examinations in partnership with the Child Abuse Clinic at Charlotte Matseke Hospital, and legal support where children who have been victims of abuse and a criminal case has been opened, they would then be expected to testify in court. So we would prepare children and equip them to testify in court and become competent and credible witnesses, teaching them to say it as it happened and to distinguish between a truth and a lie.
According to the United Nations, child marriage is a human rights violation, and despite laws against it, the practice remains widespread globally, with 1 in every 5 girls formally married or in an informal union before reaching the age of 18. Bongani Zinzibar for News Central TV, Johannesburg.